attempt to follow James and Kate here. We had a suggestion at our table. My name is Stacey. I was Norman's cousin. And we had a suggestion at our table that all the Eatons, there's several of us in the room, if you are now or have ever been in Eaton, would you raise your hand high? So just so we know, that's where all the Eatons are. From all over the U.S. with parks. Excellent, thank you. I teach school, so you can see it. So I'm Norman's cousin. There were 5 original Eaton siblings, and Norman's father was the oldest of those. My father was the youngest by 20 years. So when my father was born, he was more a contemporary of his nieces and nephews, like Norman. And he was 4 years older than Norman, even though he was Norman's uncle. And I'm more a contemporary of Kate and James' age, so we have the little divergence there. We started having family reunions about 25 years ago, and we had kind of lost track because when the Eatons started marrying and some moved to California and people moved around and we all kind of lost track of each other, we had kind of lost track of Norman and his brother Wayne and didn't really know. Somebody said, well, I think they're in Texas. We really didn't know. So after the first couple of family reunions, we were all at my dad's house, and our cousin Margie was there, and Margie was the only girl of the original 5 siblings. That was her daughter, was Margie. So Margie was my dad's niece, Norman's cousin, even though she was actually older than my dad. Anyway, everybody following this?
Yeah.
You got this? Okay, good. Take notes. So she said, well, hey, has anybody ever bothered to look in the Sacramento phone book? I'm like, you're not in Sacramento. We would know that, right? I don't know how. So we brilliantly looked in the Sacramento phone book. My dad said, well, his wife's name was something unusual. I can't remember what it was. So she says, well, there's a Norman and Musa Eaton. And he said, that's it. That's them. So Margie called him up. Sure enough, that was our Norman. Wayne was already gone by then. But we have had the pleasure of getting to know Wayne's 4 children who are here, and we started including everybody. Kind of the Eaton family kind of came back together until we have found our other half over here that are in Bakersfield, which who Eatons are in California, right? Nobody's in California. Anyway, so we started having family reunions and including the family, and we started sharing meals with Norman and Musa, and just had a wonderful time. They were just so gracious, so hospitable. I remember the first time I went to their house, and they have these floor-to-ceiling photo frames of covering their treasures from around the world when they were traveling. And on the coffee table, remember this, Musa? Have all these little treasures. They kept figurines from all the places they had traveled, and they brought back one everywhere. Now, that may not seem significant to you, but when I walked in with 2 little boys under 5, it was kind of significant. And I remember Musa saying, she said, oh, they can't hurt anything. So, my 2 little boys were good boys, but they could hurt something. And so I figured Kate and James must have been model children, so good job there. But we always had a great time. Musa used to take my boys swimming, and we just, Norman loved to cook. He would cook us meals everywhere from his homemade liver pate, if you've ever had the pleasure of that. Make beautiful meals, homemade soup, his homemade cheesecake. He had just wonderful meals, wonderful time. Always so hospitable, always in a great mood. What wonderful memories I will always have of those meals. And one time I was thinking about when James was going through his list of what his dad had introduced him to. He introduced my boys to something, but I don't think it was quite as on the intellectual level. It was Wallace and Gromit. And it's a claymation series about a scientist and his dog, and it's absolutely ridiculous, and I think Norman loved it as much as my boys did. They just had a ball. So if you check out Wallace and Gromit. So what I would like to do now is Norman, at the end of his life, he loved to eat and drink, as all us Eatons do, right? And he could no longer do that at the end of his life. That was something that really impacted me, because I know how much pleasure that gave him. So what we're going to do, again, I teach school, I teach middle school, so you're going to have to bear with me. Kate says, uh-oh. So what we're going to do is I want you to think of your favorite beverage that you enjoyed with Norman. So we're going to have pretend glasses. Don't pick up a real glass, Carla. Sorry. We're going to have pretend glasses. So if perhaps it was a beer or maybe a highball you enjoyed with Norman. So I want to see everybody pick it. Everybody has to participate. If it was perhaps a martini, you hold your stem of your martini, okay? Right? If it was a glass of wine, perhaps. Pinkies out, glasses of wine. If it was maybe a cup of coffee, espresso, two fingers out. All right? Everybody got your toast? Where's your toast? Brother, get with it. So, to Norman, I'll miss your smile. I'll miss your eyebrows. This is great attitude. Always so welcoming, always so warm. I'll miss your hugs. To Norman.